Today is October 13th, 2023. My name is Lucy, and I am interviewing with my grandpa, Mike Goodson. He is a veteran. He served in the Navy from 1961 to 1964. What were you doing before you joined the service?
I graduated from Mattoon High School.
What'd you do in high school?
Pardon me?
What'd you do in high school?
I was just a student like you.
Did you get straight A's?
A few B's, a few C's.
Normal.
Why did you join the Navy?
Well, my father was in the Navy, and I thought that would be the right thing for me to do.
While you were on duty, what was a typical day like?
Pardon me?
While we were on duty, what was a typical day like?
Oh, it wasn't bad. I mean, you stood alert all the time, and
Where were you stationed at?
I was stationed out of boot camp. I was stationed in Jacksonville, Florida.
How did you feel about leaving home?
I miss my mom really bad.
It's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did you like the best about your mom?
About my mom?
Yep.
Oh my, she was an awful nice mom.
What was the food like? In
The
your
food
service?
like
Yeah, what was the food like in your service?
it was pretty good. Yeah, especially on holidays, we got to eat steak and all the trimmings. Yeah, it's
What was your favorite food to eat in the Navy?
honey, I can't hear you.
What was your favorite food to eat in the Navy?
Well, the steak was pretty good, and breakfast was really good. But that's all of it was really good. But
I heard that people in the military ate crackers like all the time on their service. They just eat. I heard it had like maggots in the crackers.
well, maybe that was the Army you was talking about, but we didn't eat crackers in the Navy.
What was your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant
Yeah, if you had any.
is Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
What did your parents think about you leaving home?
My mom, I had an awful time getting my mom to sign the papers. My dad signed it right away. He was happy to see me go in the Navy.
Did you? What was your dad in? What was your dad in when he was in the Navy?
He was a
Like, what did he do?
he was a radio man.
So he could talk to you from their walkie-talkies.
Yeah, he was aboard ship on the
What did
radio man. on
What
board
did you do after you got home from the service?
I went to work for Medigold in Mattoon at the time.
Did you find that your military service helped you, like personally or professionally?
Yes. I think everybody should go to at least through boot camp, and I think it makes a better person out of you.
That's a good thing.
Where did you travel while you were in your service?
I went around the world twice. I was on the USS Enterprise at the time. It was a large aircraft carrier. There was 5,000 sailors on board.
What was your favorite place? Where was your favorite place to travel to?
I would say my favorite place in all the going around the world was Greece.
Did you ever see combat?
I seen it, but I didn't get into it.
Did you see like not just two people punching each other, like other type of combat?
Like war?
Oh yeah, I'd seen a lot of that.
How often was that?
Oh, mainly It wasn't that often, but every once in a while, you had some disagreements and a fight would start.
Yeah.
But we'd break it up pretty quick.
Do you ever get to talk to anyone that's you're served with you?
That I served with. I had a couple of good buddies, and we kept in contact. I think they all passed away on me now, but it was really good friends.
What were your friends' names?
The one I really liked was his name was T.J. Beidle. He slept beside me in the bunk.
Whenever you were like stressed in the Navy or something, did you did you have anything that calmed you down and kept you going?
No.
No.
Prayer.
Prayer.
How were you treated when you returned from the Navy, like at home?
Everybody's happy to see me, so I guess I was treated pretty nice.
Yeah.
What sticks in your mind the most about your time in the service?
One of the funniest things I thought, we had a first lieutenant that missed his ship and during the Cuban crisis, which is where I was at, and they flew him aboard the Enterprise. Then they strapped him in a seat and highlined him over to his ship. Well, in about the middle of the high line, his ship come close to our ship, and he went down in the ocean. And then my admiral said, "You get that ship away from me." And so when they come apart, he come out like a cork. He just shot right up out of it. And he's hanging on his hat and the water was off of him. But he finally made it over to his ship, yeah. I thought that was pretty funny, but I'm sure he didn't.
That sounds really funny. How often did you get to take leave?
Oh, I could take leave usually 2 weeks out of a year. But I didn't always take that.
Do you think the war was worth the price?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Back then, yes, I do.
What about now?
Well, what you see going on with Israel and all that is iffy.
Hey, what do you want Israel to do, just in curiosity? What would you like to happen?
I want them to win,
On 20?
yes. I think that was terrible. The guys that come over there and kill the babies and stuff, and I don't agree with that.
What are the hours like in the Navy?
Well, they had reveille, which sounded, they blew a horn on the sound of the whole ship, and that's time to get up. And then all day long, usually they had, you usually could go take a nap about 5 o'clock in the evening and pretty much do what you want then, if you wasn't on watch.
Was you usually exhausted at that time?
No, not really.
What did you do when you had free time?
Read a instruction book so I could advance in from 3rd class to 2nd class.
What was it?
Write letters to home, stuff like that.
What do you want people to know about that time in history?
I think it was a good time back then. I don't know about now, but back then, whenever I was in boot camp, they could pretty much do whatever they wanted to with you. They could knock you down, kick you, holler at you, scream at you. But see, I went through ROTC in high school, and so whenever I got in boot camp, they assigned me to graduate other companies before me, and so I didn't get in too much physical with them.
Were you ever on ships?
All the time.
What did you do on the ships?
I was a engineer.
What was the most helpful part of your training?
Pardon me?
What was the most helpful part of your training?
Oh boy. That's a hard question to answer, kid.
It's on the paper.
It's well, I had good instructors, and so it turned out pretty good.
Did you ever get seasick?
No, I didn't, but a lot of sailors did.
What kind of training did you receive?
What kind of training?
Did you receive?
Well, I received. I was down in the engine room a lot, and training on the engines and stuff, and where the steam was coming from. On some of the destroyer ships I was on, but I was on 3 different ships, and well, actually 4. But the Enterprise was the first ship they come out with that was a nuclear ship, and that was back in '62.
What rank were you in? What was your rank?
My rank was 2nd class.
2nd class.
Do you remember any particular funny or unusual events?
Yes, I told you about Lieutenant dropping down in the ocean when we was trying to highlight him over to his ship.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
What kind of supplies did you use or carry?
Just myself. They had all the tools and stuff down in the engine room.
Was the clothing that you had to wear heavy?
Mhm.
Was the clothing that you had to wear heavy?
You had 2 different seasons. You had in the spring and summer you wore whites. In the winter and fall you wore blues. And the blues was all wool.
So which one did you like more, the white or the blue?
Well, I liked the white ones when it was warm, and I really liked the blue and the heavy pea coat, they called them. Now, all them uniforms, everything had a survival to it. So if you went overboard, they had all the pants had bell bottoms. Well, you could take them bell bottoms off, tie a knot in the bottom of the bell, and flip it over your head, and you'd have air in there, and that was for flotation.
What was the worst part about being in the Navy?
I miss my mom. That's the worst part.
Do you have any stories
Do I have any stories?
about your time in the service?
Oh, I seen well, like I said, I went around the world twice on the Enterprise, and I seen a lot that disturbed me. When we got back to the United States, I actually laid down on the ground and kissed it. I thought this is the best part of the world ever.
Reasonable.
Did you ever feel homesick or stressed?
Yeah, I did feel homesick, yeah. But I think every sailor did.
Did you get used to the homesick or anything?
No, I was pretty much homesick all the time for getting back home. But I got to come home 2 weeks out of the year, so I got to visit with my mom and my dad and all that. So,
What did you do to pass the time when you weren't busy?
in the Navy, I laid on my bunk and read books. And
What books did you like the most?
we had magazines to read, but I mainly read my book on getting advances in the Navy.
Did you go through any bad sea storms?
Like what?
Like any bad sea storms?
Bad what?
Sea storms.
Sea storms? Oh yes. Yeah, we was out in the ocean and it was so bad. The storm was so bad. There was water coming down the stack of the ship and putting the fires out, and in the boiler rooms.
Was that the worst sea storm that you've ever experienced?
And that's because I was on a destroyer at the time. After I got on Enterprise, it was just like sitting here. You didn't even know you was on the water.
Who was there to greet you when you came home?
My mom and dad.
Lucy's turn.
Is there anything we haven't covered or that you'd like to talk about?
I think you pretty well covered it all.
Yeah, because we basically answered the questions on this list and other questions that weren't on the list.
I'm pretty sure we asked you every single question.
No,
We asked you
you guys pretty well hit it all.
Hey, now, what would you kids like to say to home?
Thank
you
for
very
coming in.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I did it.
And thank you for serving for us.
Yes, thank you very much.